You get all the luck when you don't give a f. Today, I want to talk to you about vibe coding. Kobe, what the? Today, I want to talk to you about vibe coding and exactly the implications of this, as well as being humble and why being humble kind of sucks, and that you are the result of your actions. Surprise, surprise. A recent thing I've been trying to do is to improve the platform of the Safer Internet project. And this is like a constant improvement thing. And I thought, why not try some vibe coding? Can I make the most insecure app of all time? I think I probably can. I think my skill level sits perfectly with being able to make something that is absolutely trash out of just AI prompts. What I want to do is make the whole user experience of the website better. And it's on a platform that you pay like a subscription fee for. And I could technically build this, but I want to make it a little bit fun. So I've got this like vibe coding project that I'm building at the moment. It's got Node.js, Terraform, Firebase, all of the things. I'm giving away all the secrets for you guys to hack it. And basically I want to make the site itself its own CTF, which I think would be kind of fun, but obviously to separate things like actual private information of people away from that. This project started out of the general usability of the Safer Internet Project website, which is average. Like it's just not where I want it to be. It's not bad. It's just not as good as I think it could be. But I also want it to have integrations into the different CTFs that are on there so that it's like a gamified approach so that your profile shows that you're actually actively doing stuff, and it's like a public profile that people can see to be able to see what you've done and how you've done it and why you're awesome, basically. The opening sequence of this video was all about, you get all the luck when you don't give a fuck, which is the lyrics and title of one of my favorite songs by Mike Skinner when he did a side project called The Greater the Shadow, the Brighter the Light. And it was such a cool album with some excellent one-liners in it. And I thought that's a really good place to start this video, because when you're talking about vibe coding, sometimes you just need to go in there and give it a crack. And I think that people who are trying to learn cybersecurity, coding, development, whatever it is, and they're going into these AI tools and learning things through AI. Yes, it's a lot of copy paste, and yes, they're not fully understanding what they're doing, but at least they're giving it a try. And I have to give people respect for that. Will they make the most insecure apps of all time? Probably yes, they more than likely will, but that's okay. You can always fix those things later. If you can build an app from scratch using AI and then get into it from there, learn how to then secure the environment, do a pen test against it yourself. I mean, why not? Why is that a bad thing? I think that's actually quite a cool thing. At the moment, it's really hard to get people interested in a specific topic that they can learn about because they feel like AI can just do everything for them and it's going to eventually take over everything you do. But that shouldn't be a reason that you should stop learning. I think that should be a reason to use AI to help you to learn. Maybe that's just my perspective on things. Maybe I'm just old school like that. I don't know. But I think that's sort of the way to really go about using these AI tools out there to help you write code and to vibe code it away. Why not? Give it a crack. Learn something along the way. There's actually a couple of guys I know who have come from completely non-IT backgrounds who have built full-on applications that they've then taken to different pitch nights to try and pitch the idea to get investment. And honestly, they've built the MVP of the product, vibe coded the hell out of it. And it's got them to a point where they've got funding, that's incredible. That's exactly what they wanted. And then they hire someone who actually knows what they're doing to secure the environment and tell them everything's kind of broken and needs to be fixed. But they got to that point. They got that person a job through using AI. So AI is not always taking jobs away from you. Sometimes it's actually giving jobs back in a sort of roundabout way. I feel like if you can harness the power of AI and automation tools, then you've really secured your future in the industry of IT as a whole. And there's never really going to be like a reduction of support or security. It's just that those jobs are eventually going to change over time. And I think that's really what people need to understand, is that the job security in like the next 5, 10 years is pretty solid if you can prove that you're doing something worthwhile doing. And this sort of brings me on to the next topic, which is to, just fuck being humble. I really hate it when people are like, they're these mega skilled dudes and they don't talk about how amazing they are. And I know this is like personality traits, but in this world, you really do need to stand out. If you want to get to places, you need to stand out and tell people about how awesome you are at whatever it is you do. Put those glasses of direction on where you are the subject matter of some topic. I'm sure you're good at something that other people are maybe not as good at. There's always people who are better than you, and that's fine. But don't be humble about it. Be excellent. Be someone that people look up to as someone with experience and skill who is doing these things, and be that subject matter expert. Show the world who you are. So back to this massive diversion there, but back to this focus on this app that I'm building. At the moment, as I said, it's Node.js, Terraform. There's a bit of CTFD in there using the open source package of that to integrate into it. There's Firebase for authentication. It's all sitting in AWS. I've got some cool databasing stuff also in AWS. It's sort of linking and creating redundancies and backups between the database. So just in case it ever does break, and I'm sure it will, then at least there's a backup of that happening. It's actually something I'm really excited for. I just sort of literally last night, like midnight last night, I was like, I need to do something about this. And I was trying other platforms that you pay a subscription for, trying to go the easy mode route. And I was talking with this guy I work with, and he's like, why don't you just build an app from scratch? Why don't you just, get it going from scratch? Then you have all the customization you want. And it was a really good point. And my response immediately was, I can't afford a developer to build that application, because I was thinking in my head, it needs to be done properly. And it does need to be done properly. But if I want to just run this up as a trial to see if it's going to work better than what I currently have, then using some vibe coding is probably a good way to go, because that's going to get me to the point that I actually want it to be at. Just at that point where I can try it out and give it a go and see if it's working the way I want it to. And if it is, then I can secure it. Then I can build it properly. Then I can take this product and make it into something better, something amazing. This idea in my head of all these crazy moving parts between this application and another application, and the syncing of everything in there, it all needs to work perfectly. And I feel like I'll end up employing a full-time developer once that's finished. And if I can get people to actually use it, that's the other thing, of course. Then yeah, I need to sort of work from there to make it actually a good application. It's super cool. It's just, and actually another thing that inspired me about this, I was watching through the other day, someone was asking me about Raspberry Pis and having like a Raspberry Pi project where you have like a stack of, like a mini rack of Raspberry Pis. And I was like, damn, I did this like 3 years ago. On my YouTube channel, about 3 years ago, I did a live stream where I introduced this new, it was like a firewall, a web application server, and some other stuff on a couple of Raspberry Pis in like a mini rack. And it was super sick. And I was watching this live stream. I was like, damn, this is actually a pretty good live stream. Like I'm pretty happy with how this live stream went and what I was doing in that live stream, and showing things and, different camera angles and stuff. I remember when I was setting it up, it took days and days to get that live stream set up. And it quickly turned into a Q&A live stream where I was just answering questions of people trying to get into the industry, which was honestly a lot of what I was doing back then, talking to people to help them get into the industry, to get them excited about these things. And obviously my goals and objectives and direction has changed since then, where I've stopped sort of the guidance through YouTube, although I do a lot of that through the Saber Internet project now, and sort of working then towards where I am now, which was it was that major goal. I've talked about this in other videos, where I was working in a contract role for someone else, and then I was trying to build up my own business on the side, this consultancy that I have, so that I could travel the world and work wherever I wanted and wear stupid yellow hats in a country that I'd never been to before. And that's sort of exactly what I worked towards. And it did take a lot of time away from making the YouTube videos, which was something that I didn't really want to do. I wanted to always keep YouTube going, and I have tried my best to keep it going. And I'm back on this ship now, trying to really ignite the flame of people who are in the cybersecurity industry, or the IT or software industries within IT, all of these different moving parts, because we're all one and the same. We're all people who are interested in similar things. If that's securing an app that you've developed, if that's building an app to then be secured later, if that's just running up businesses and freelancing from anywhere in the world, even if it's a software business, even if it's cybersecurity, if it's whatever you want to do or whatever you're good at, we're all in this boat together, and we're all sort of working towards these mad goals that we've got. And I think that's the core of this channel, and absolutely my Discord server, where, man, I love that place. I really love the Discord server so much. It's so cool. It's such a great environment of people talking and fitting in. And I think that's something that's really important, and something that's missed a lot within the IT industry, where we all work semi-remotely at some sort of capacity. And even if we're working in an office, you're kind of away from the main hustle and bustle of everything else that's going in that office. And having a community to talk to and back yourself up with, and just have a bit of shit talking, maybe complain a little bit about the job you're doing, is super important for your mental health. And it's just so cool. And this isn't like a sales pitch for my Discord server, because it's completely free. You don't have to pay anything to be in there at all. You can just join and have some fun and talk shit. And that's why I like it, because it's not paywalled. It's not something that I'm trying to sell. It's not something that other people recommend because they're going to make some affiliate fees off or something like that. It's nothing. There's no money involved. Just good fun and good vibes. And that's really important, I think, for IT professionals. Like I said, because you're kind of working on your own to a capacity. You're a solo wolf out there, just working through the job, getting it done. And you talk to your manager and whatever, and people you work with, but it's not the same. It's not the same as being able to relate with other people that work in a similar industry to you, who aren't working with you, because then you can complain about the things that are happening. You can complain and argue and discuss different topics. You can talk about the cool things that you're building without giving away too much information, obviously, that's going to dox you or the business you're working for, unless you want to. I mean, that's up to you. But and your legal rights if you are able to. But having these sort of conversations with people really opens you up to other things that could be done. An example of this is when I talk a lot in my Discord about automation processes. I do a lot of automation processes. And when you're talking with people at work who have never really worked with that before, compared to a community of 7,000 people, chances are in that 7,000 people, there's one person who knows more than you. Chances are. So you pitch this idea and they're like, oh, wait, how does that actually work? Because I don't think that's possible. You're like, shit, is it not possible? Like, am I going down a really, dark alleyway here into the abyss where I'm not going to be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve with this particular project that I'm working on for work? Whereas if you tell someone at work, they're like, oh, cool, that's great. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the end result. That's it. It's not their problem. They're not getting paid to think about it. They don't care. And that's the same when you're I guess, in any job. But when you're in a community of people who are like actively interested in your success and maybe learning something that maybe you knew something that they didn't know it was possible, then you can have those discussions and you can actually talk about, this is something that's actually important to learn. Yeah, and just to wrap that sort of bit up is that it is super useful to talk to people who are in a like-minded situation in a community that's completely free, to bounce ideas off and get some support from. It's freaking cool. My last topic that I wanted to talk about is that if you make hard choices now, then you will have an easier life in the future. And this isn't a new topic to anyone. This is something that I think everyone is aware of, but doesn't really think about enough to actually put a plan into place. This is especially relevant when I'm talking about, building this vibe coded platform that I want to build. The hard choice for me right now is that I have a learning platform that works, but it's not what I want it to be. So then the actual choice is to work and use my spare time, which I honestly don't have a lot of, to then try and code up another application that's very similar to what I currently have, but with more potential features and customization. So I'm taking away time that I hold very precious to myself. I'm also this is going to cost money. For example, this is about 150 Australian dollars to 200 Australian dollars per month just to run the infrastructure. So if I was paying for someone to do this would cost many thousands of dollars every month, which I don't really want to spend. I have other things I'm trying to buy, like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm trying to buy another property. So I need this project to work off my back to be able to build this up, and I'll ask for help from lots of different people who definitely know more than me about building cloud machines and developing different types of solutions with Node.js and Tailwind, CSS, and all these different things. These are very new topics to me. I'm used to sort of securing applications and breaking applications and not so much building these back-end systems, although it is quite fun. I do love a good home lab, and that's sort of how I'm considering this. So the hard choice now that I'm making is to spend my time, to spend some money on building this, and so that in the future I have an easier time where I can move everything from one platform to another. Hopefully that's even possible, I don't know. And then have a future where it's fully customizable. Now, the benefit of this is there's two sides, and this is very business minded, so keep that in mind. If at one point in the future I want to sell the Safer Internet project, I want to sell the whole education side of the business and keep the consulting to myself and just do that. If I have my own platform, then the value is substantially more because you own all of the IP in that solution that you've custom built. And even if it's sort of based off open source solutions, by the time you've made enough customization, which I think the legal limit is about 10%, if you make more than 10% of a customization on an open source product, then it's considered custom, that you then own the IP of the 10% basically of the product, which is, it's super weird. But anyway, if you ever want to build an app, start open source, build it from there, make lots of customization, it's then technically your app. For example, a lot of these learning platforms use Moodle for their infrastructure of the setup, and that's an open source learning platform, which is I've used it before, it's trash. But once you make enough customizations to it, then it can actually be quite a good product. And then it's something that a lot of people sell on like a service basis. So there is that. This also opens up the opportunity to make a better learning platform than what currently exists in the market. Is Teachable the best one out there? Maybe. Is, Circle good? I mean, Circle's great. It's a different sort of direction though. It's more community based. Is Discord an amazing platform for education? More community based, but I guess you could do it. I mean, I did it before Teachable, I was using Discord. So then the result at the end of all of this is that at the end, I will have this custom solution that I can do whatever it is that I want with and have the full customization that I want and be able to provide a better service to everyone who's using the platform. And for me, that's absolutely worth my time. It's worth this money that I'm spending on building it. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be the coolest thing ever to have this like full custom solution. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's probably something I should have done years ago, but anyway, beside the point. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe for more videos just like this. If you're interested in joining the Discord server, it's in the link in the description. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.